It's me, MLB. Here's chapter 49 of Shattered Image, and this one is titled Therapist Hunter. You felt put on the spot and claustrophobia set in. I don't want to talk about it, you said, pushing past your dad to get out of the room. You just needed some space to think. Yin, your mum called out after you. Let her be. Don't push her, you heard your dad say as you walked to your room and entered and then closed the door behind you. I can't deal with this, you thought, pacing back and forth in your room, unsure of what to do. You had so many emotions swelling up inside you, and you could feel yourself unravelling, but thankfully your first thought was to call for Sero, so you grabbed your phone from your pocket and rang his number. I'm already coming, he said as soon as he picked up the phone, and you could hear him running. Are you home? Yeah, you replied. You want to go for a thrill ride? He asked as he continued to run. Do you need an outlet? I just need someone to talk to, you replied, feeling mildly agitated. You can definitely talk to me, he said, and you heard him breathing heavier as he raced down the street. Yeah, you replied with a small smile to yourself. I know. I'm not far away, he said, and you heard the zip of his tape leaving his elbow and smiled to yourself again. I don't want to sound soft, but no one has ever gone this hard for me. Ever. You said softly, immediately regretting that you had said something so mushy out loud. Sorry, what was that? Sero asked, having not heard you because he was now flying through the air towards your place. Nothing, you said quickly. I'm about to get on your roof, he said, and you walked to your bed and then crawled onto it and then looked out your window. You could see him flinging himself across the buildings to get to you, and you smiled again. Here, he called as he landed on the far end of your roof, and you hung up and reached for the window to unlock it. Sero hadn't realised that you had hung up on him and pressed the phone to his ear to say something else to you, but then saw that you didn't have your phone up to your ear anymore, and he just looked at his phone. You hung up on me, he said with mortified surprise on the other end of the window. Yeah, because you're here, dummy, you said, opening your window to him. You didn't even say goodbye, he said again as he poked his head through the open window. You idiot, you snorted. Let's go already, you added, climbing out of the window onto the roof with him and pushing him back. He grinned and helped you out and then grabbed you and jumped off the roof with you, swinging you both down to the street below where you walked side by side to the town beyond. Are you okay? Sero asked you as you walked. I don't really know, you replied honestly. What happened? He asked. You told him about what happened when you got home and how you felt backed into a corner and wasn't quite sure what you actually wanted to do, and he nodded while looking up. He hummed, suddenly grabbing you and pulling you into his side and then shooting his tape up onto the top of a tall apartment block and swinging you up. You squealed with delight as you were shot into the air with him, and he flicked you both up onto the roof. So, yeah, you said, hardly breaking your chatter about it as you walked to the edge of the building and sat down with your legs dangling over the sides. So Sero came and joined you, both of you looking out over the town as the sun set and the glow of the lights below got brighter. So what are you going to say to them? Sero asked, sitting with hands resting between his legs, elbows resting on his thighs. I don't know. You shrugged. Well, what do you want to say to them? He asked. I want to tell my mum that I know how she feels. I want to tell my dad that he should suffer like I had to. You said bluntly. Sero said. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. This is Yin, and she never lets anyone off with just a warning. He thought. What if you did forgive your dad? Sero asked. You gave him a look and he quickly held his hands up in surrender. Oh, wait, I'm just playing devil's advocate. He added, don't shoot. He would probably think that he could get away with this type of stuff then, you replied. That's not cool. He lied to us all these years and kept secrets. He can't just be let off. What if he felt bad all these years? Sero asked, and the daggers in your eyes that you shot at him made him almost laugh. Wait, I'm still playing devil's advocate here. Not going to happen. He needs to pay, you replied. Would making him suffer benefit you? Sero asked, immediately retracting his statement the second that he saw the malicious grin on your face. Okay, I take that back. You would love it. Oh, you know I would, you replied with a smirk. You're crazy, you know that? Sero chuckled. But that's what I love. Like about you. You hummed, looking down so that he couldn't see the look on your face. What if he got therapy? Sero asked. Man, I don't know. I just want Mum to be happy and for me to move on in life. You know what? Stuff him. I don't need him. I know all about my quirk now and I have you and Aizawa to back me up. I don't need my dad. You said. Okay, well, at least that anger at him has abated. Sero thought. Speaking of therapy, he added, your sessions at the hospital, when do they start? Next week, I think, he replied. I don't know, there's just so much going on. Failing, rescue assessment, court case, psychology sessions. What else? Yeah, but I'll be by your side through all of them, Sero added, leaning in a little closer to you. You looked at him, the pair of you just looking at each other, and you felt like you were leaning in a little more, your body feeling very drawn to his. Suddenly your phone went off. You blinked and looked down at your pocket and then pulled it out. Oh, it's Vix, you said, opening the message from her. In the message she had sent a pic and it looked like two people sitting on the edge of a building, but the view was from underneath and you cocked your head to the side and squinted at it and then realised it was a picture of you and Sero and she was standing underneath. Oh, you said as you looked down and saw her waving. Bro, what? You chuckled, calling her and putting her on speaker. Hey, Stinky babe, she greeted brightly from the speaker. What's up, Smelly Poo? You replied with a grin. Girl, what is you doing up there? Who you with? She asked. I happened to look up and you know I recognise those shoes. Just kicking it with my friend, you said, glancing at Sero. Say hi, you added, holding the phone out to him. Hey, he said with a sheepish look on his face. Hey, boo, but what are you doing up there? Can I see you, baby? It's been too long. Come down, Vix begged in a pouting voice. Yeah, hold up, we'll come through, you said, grinning at Sero. Drop us down there, you said to him, waiting till he stood up, and then you stood up and stepped into him, pushing your body against his as you wrapped your arms around his waist, and he put one arm around you and held you tight. We're going to jump from the edge, and I'll lower us down with the tape, he said, and you nodded with a grin. Vix watched as you and he suddenly jumped off the roof, and she gasped as you both came down the side rapidly, then realised the tape was keeping you from falling down. Spider-Man! She gasped, as soon as you and Sero had hit the ground gently, her fox ears twitching and tail swishing with delight. Sexy bitch! She squealed, jumping forwards to hug you as soon as Sero let you go. I've missed you! And you too, player. Why are you not hollering at me, huh? She asked, popping one hip out while looking Sero up and down. Step off, you said sharply to Vix. Keep your gravy on your own chips. Oh, you too, Lincoln? Vix asked slyly. Your face flushed with the heat of embarrassment. No, you gasped. What's that? Sero asked curiously. Don't ask, you said quickly. You know she's a certified freak, right? Vix added, giving Sero a half-lidded look. She giving you that yummy yummy? Sero replied, his face starting to dust pink now. Bro, I'm a quirk you if you don't stop, I swear to God, you growled at Vix, who immediately tucked her bushy tail between her ripped fishnet stocking-covered legs and pushed her ears flat in submission. Sorry, boo, she said, squeezing her hands together in front of herself. Vix do be a little kitty though. Stay tuned for tomorrow. More Sero coming then. I'll see you then.